Hi, this is Kimberly Loftus. I'm with the exhibit design team here at the zoo this week discussing constraints and considerations for the Sumatran orangutan exhibit. Sumatran orangutans are critically endangered primates that are endemic to northern Indonesia. They are great apes and are the largest arboreal primate in the wild. They live primarily in the tree canopies in the forests in the wild. The status of being critically endangered has occurred due to deforestation and the loss of their habitat, but the number one cause is due to the illegal international animal trade in which they are sold for entertainment purposes and as pets. There are several governing agencies responsible for monitoring Sumatran orangutans in the wild and also in captivity. The regulatory bodies responsible, the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, also known as the AZA, their accreditation commission evaluate the zoos and aquariums to ensure they meet national standards by U.S. agencies such as OSHA and the USDA. They also create the accreditation care manual that sets the guidelines for the zoos and aquariums to meet the standards to be accredited. CITES, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, and the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. They inspect the premises records, husbandry tactics, animal handling procedures, and that's done by APHIS, the Animal and Plant Inspection Service for the USDA. They also conduct licensing and inspection to ensure that compliance per the Animal Welfare Act is being provided to the animals at the zoos and the aquariums, and that they meet AZA standards. OSHA, Occupational Health and Safety Administration. They are responsible for the employees, the safety of the employees and staff at the zoos, especially certain species such as the orangutans. They're considered a dangerous species, and there have been instances where there's been a blind spot in when a keeper is going in thinking it's unoccupied and an orangutan is hiding, and they end up getting attacked and injured. So the zoos also have to comply with their safety standards as well. The United Nations Environmental Project and Great Ape Survival Project, GRASP. Both of those organizations in 2006 went on a mission with CITES to Indonesia, and it was to help with the conservation efforts there. And also the president of Indonesia and CITES are the authority as far as any animals being exported from the country. They have the say-so. And then the master plan for the design to meet AZA standards will require horizontal arboreal pathways. They also recommend a linear design, nesting and resting platforms, both in night enclosures and indoor day rooms and sleeping quarters. Orangutans in the wild make nests every single day. They don't use the same ones, and it's important to provide the materials that they use in the wild, hay, grasses, branches, so they can mimic those behaviors of the orangutans in the wild, and also to keep them active. Multiple entrances to outdoor enclosures to ensure that dominant adult males do not block subordinates from entering. Private enclosures for female adults with dependents. The dependents stay with the adults for 8 to 9 years. And in captivity, they will stay with them forever usually. The females can be in groups in captivity. And they recommend hydraulic gates for safety and for escape purposes. Orangutans have been known, they're very smart, and they've been known to figure out ways of escaping. So hydraulic gates are usually the way to go for safety. Security cameras with audio inside and outside. That's for safety and also for 24-hour behavioral observation. Sometimes with audio, the staff can catch something quicker. Windows for staff observation of behavior should be throughout the indoor and outdoor. Every enclosure should have windows for them to be able to observe what is going on. Crates connected to personal stalls for easier transport. It makes it easier if they don't have to remove them from the building to get them into a crate. Positive reinforcement training is used for crate training from their stalls right into a crate that then they can just transport immediately. Electrical fencing systems are used, usually with orangutans, sometimes wiring within the wall or above the wall, and then they also use electrical. It's a root system for the plants, for the trees, so they're not harming the trees. A quarantine area is necessary for primates. According to the manual, it should replicate the indoor habitat with private entrance and outdoor space as to not contaminate any of the general areas. It's used for medical cases, but also for new primates coming in. They always quarantine them to make sure that they don't have any underlying medical issues before putting them in a group with the other animals. And as far as meeting the standards, this is my design for the master plan. As this is their habitat only. I did not do the surrounding areas. I'm just showing what will be within the orangutans portion of the primate forest. So the house building is the indoor building, and that includes the day room, which needs to be 20 by 12 by 20, and they need to have climbing structures. They need sway poles with fire hoses as vines. They seem to work the best. Ropes can be dangerous, and actually orangutans have been known to die from hanging themselves by mistake. They need a large enough space that they have their own areas. Climbing structures should be 6.5 feet apart. That promotes them with their arm span to swing as they do in the trees in nature. It's recommended to use natural dead trees for climbing structures. They actually last for 7 to 8 years. And then also the multiple mesh tunnels system is highly recommended. And I'm doing like a maze type design where they can all have access to all the areas in the outdoor, the play habitat areas, the water, the night enclosures. They will have be able to go in outside, and then in colder weather they have their own stalls, which also will have nesting platforms inside. And it's a requirement by the USDA that enrichment toys, food boxes, water spritzers, and pools are located in the outdoor enclosures and throughout the forest area where they have access to. All of their tunnels will be on from the second floor, so visitors will be able to be underneath on the forest floor and they can see them in their natural habitat. And then outdoor hideaway huts for when the orangutans get overwhelmed. And these are my references. Thank you.